Chapter 10. Amelia Sees What We Don't. Amelia Aldwin had always been called fragile. It was a convenient word, a gentle one. It allowed the others to speak over her, to guide her by the elbow, to dismiss her fears as nerves and her memories as imagination. Next morning, Crow found her standing barefoot in the winter passageway again. Crow thought this is where she feels comfortable, away from the family, away from the drama. Or is it something else? Crow mused. He smiled to himself. The long corridor was unheated, glass walls misted with frost, ivy pressing faint shadows against the panes. Amelia stood very still, her breath fogging the air, fingers pressed lightly to the glass as if listening through it. Crow approached her quietly. She heard him, but she pretended not to. As he walked closer, he said, "You like it here. You're not afraid." She did not turn. She answered, "Should I be?" She pressed herself closer to the wall. "This is my home. Nothing really scares me. I'm used to this, you know," she shrugged. "Why," Crow said quietly. She said, "I understand." Crow looked at her, really looked at her. "The house doesn't like when people lie," she continues. Crow paused. That's a strong opinion for someone who says so little. Her reflection stared back at him in the window, eyes too alert, too awake for someone so often dismissed as delicate. "I hear things," Amelia said. "At night. Not voices. Not exactly." She hesitated. "More like echoes." Crow stepped closer, careful not to startle her. "What kind of echoes?" "Moments," she said. "They repeat when the house is unhappy." She finally looked at him then. There was fear there, but not really, more like certainty. "Uncle Edgar knew," she whispered. "The night he died, he was relieved." Crow felt the words settle, heavy and cold. Relieved of what? Amelia swallowed. Of being the last. Before Crow could press further, footsteps approached. Eleanor's voice echoed from the main hall, sharp with irritation. Amelia flinched, the moment collapsing in on itself. She stepped away from the window, folding into herself again, fragile as everyone expected her to be. But Crow had seen enough. Fragile things did not carry truth that old. Chapter 11. The house rejects the living. The mansion changed after that. Not dramatically, not in ways that could be easily named. Crow noticed it first in the study. The desk was no longer where he remembered it, only inches off, but enough. The chair angled slightly toward the window, as if turned by someone who preferred the view. The emerald shard he had cataloged was gone. He searched carefully. Nothing. He left the room and returned later. The door resisted him, not locked, not barred, just unwilling. The house did not want witnesses anymore. Downstairs, Constance Aldwin sat rigid in the parlor, hands folded too tightly in her lap. Edward paced. Eleanor drank too much, too early in the day. Thomas watched the walls more than the people. "You feel it too," Crow said finally, looking from one to the other. No one answered. "The house isn't hiding anything," Crow continued. "It's deciding who belongs." Edward stopped pacing. "You're suggesting what exactly? That we leave?" The floor creaked sharply beneath his feet. "No," Crow replied. "I'm suggesting it's already made up its mind." Later that evening, Sydney found Crow in the garden, standing beneath the old oak tree where Edgar Aldwin had been buried and unearthed. "He didn't fight it," Sydney said quietly. "Not the end." Crow turned. "You're certain?" Sydney nodded. Edgar believed the house needed to be acknowledged. Not fed, not appeased, not dressed up. A bitter smile. He thought understanding would be enough. And was it? Sydney looked back at the mansion, its windows glowing faintly in the dusk. No. That night, Crow returned to his room to find a single object placed neatly on the bedside table. The pocket watch. He was certain he had left it locked, a way the house was no longer listening. It was responding. Chapter 12. Inheritance. Crow stood once more before the ancestral portrait. In daylight, the resemblance was undeniable. The same eyes, the same stillness, the same distance from certainty. "You didn't own this place," Crow murmured. "Did you?" The house answered with silence but not denial. Sydney's words returned to him. Distant cousin, old blood, and his mother's warning echoed just as clearly. Some names are meant to disappear. Crow understood now. The Aldwins were not cursed. They were custodians. The Aureate Hex was not a weapon, nor a ritual of death. It was a mark of continuity, a symbol passed down to those who could hear the house without being consumed by it. Edgar had tried to end the line. The house had refused. Footsteps approached softly behind him. Amelia stood in the doorway, pale but steady. "It knows you," she said. Crow didn't turn. "And you," she nodded, "but it's waiting for you." "For what?" Amelia hesitated, then spoke with quiet clarity. "For you to decide if this ends or continues." The house creaked, not threatening, not angry, expectant. Crow closed the pocket watch in his hand. This was no longer a case to solve. It was a legacy to accept or reject, and the house was patient. It always had been.